What's up YouTube? It's been a while. More on that in just a second. Today we're going to be installing a JD2 Model 32 manual tubing bender. A few months back I found myself in the hospital with a mysterious infection. It left me in sepsis and did a number on my kidneys. I ended up spending about 10 days in the hospital and another month or so on outpatient dialysis. But I'm feeling a lot better and I can't wait to start making videos again. So today we're going to be installing the JD2 Model 32 manual tubing bender. I went with the manual bender primarily due to budget constraints, but this model allows a very easy upgrade path if I choose to go hydraulic in the future. I chose JD2 primarily due to the available bending dies. They have dies for everything: square tubing, round tubing, pipe, any size you can imagine, plus they have good support. So without further ado, let's get started and get this bender installed. I need to figure out exactly where I want to mount the base. Unfortunately, I'm working in a pretty small shop, so I need to make sure that I leave enough room to operate the bender as well as having enough room to move around it when I'm working on other projects. Fortunately, the base plate on the bottom has a square hole pattern, so I should be able to rotate the base if I need to in the future. I'm going to be using this masonry bit to drill my holes. I'm going to try to get away without using a rotary hammer to drill the holes. We'll see how that goes. I'm also going to be using these stainless steel drop-in anchors to secure the base to the floor. These do require a special setting tool to secure them and lock them in place. I will provide a link in the description below for all the hardware and tools that I'm using for this video. That didn't work out as well as I had hoped, so I ran out and picked up a hammer drill at Harbor Freight for about 30 bucks. So far that's going a lot better. I've already got 3 of the 4 anchors installed. So I'm gonna drill this last hole and then I'm gonna show everyone how to set these anchors in place. All right, so to set these anchors, it's pretty simple. The first thing you're gonna do is just drop it in your hole. Then you're gonna tap it flush with something like a dead blow hammer. And then you're gonna use the setting tool and something like a mallet, a heavy mallet, to set it in place. You just keep tapping until you hear the tone change and you know you've got it in there pretty good. That was a lot more difficult than it needed to be. This concrete's just really hard. I highly recommend a hammer drill. Now we can assemble the bender. Now that we have the tube bender installed and mounted, we're going to make our very first bends. The first thing I'm going to do is make a bending gauge. This is going to help us to calculate how much material each bend requires. If you'd like more information about this, I'd highly recommend you check out the fabrication series on YouTube. The first thing we're going to do is make a mark about 4 inches from the end of the tube. Then we're going to make a mark about every inch beyond that for about 10 inches or so. Now we're going to throw this in the bender and make an additional mark about every 10 degrees or so. Now let's load up our tube and get to bending. Now that I've got the tube loaded into the die, we're going to take a red marker and mark right here at the beginning of the follower every 10 degrees. You can see I've loaded the tube with the first mark at the very beginning of the die. And this is going to allow us to calculate for every 10 degrees how many inches of material each bend needs. This is what your bending guide should look like when it's complete. As you can see, we have our marks every inch, and we also have our red marks every 10 degrees. This is not what it should look like. I cut my first piece a little too short and it slipped out of the follower near the end of the bend. Don't be like me. Obviously, I can't give a full review of the bender yet, but it does seem very well made. I'm particularly impressed with the stand that I bought from JD2. There's several things that I've already noticed with the bender that you should take into account, especially when using it. The first is that it's very difficult to see where you're at on the degree wheel when you're over here pulling and making your bends. So pay extra close attention because it's really easy to overshoot. Another thing I noticed is that right about 90 degrees, the anti-spring back pin will fall into the second hole, and that makes removing your tube very difficult if you're pulling a 90. So what I had to do, and it took me a few minutes to figure this out, is that you'll have to pull just a hair past 90 and release the pin and set it up before you can fully remove your tube from the die. Aside from that, the bender is pretty easy to use. After just a few uses, you kind of fall into a rhythm and everything starts to move a little bit more smoothly and a lot faster. If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more on the way, especially some projects here with the bender. I really would like to do some door bars for the Miata, maybe some A-arms and some other things. And eventually, one day, this may be far in the future, I'd really love to make a tube frame chassis for a car. I haven't even decided what car it will be, but that's something that I would love to get into one day.